Hello, viewers. Welcome back to Doctor's Health Talk Show. Today, um, my friend Paul joining me today, and we talked about his love for acupuncture, his love for Oriental medicine, and now this session is going to dig deeper into his more non-professional but more of a uh, personal life and what he does out of his time out of his work. So, Paul, welcome back. I'm going to ask a first question, which is the question: if you were not an acupuncturist and practitioner of Oriental medicine, what profession would you have chosen?
You're rolling into some dangerous territory there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot actually. I think about this still. I think like a mountain guide would be amazing.
A
I,
mountain guide?
yeah, just take people out to the mountains, take them hiking. I mean, essentially, I'd still be trying to fix people and get them in shape. So I mean, I guess it would still be along the same lines. But
I love the idea of being in the nature and showing people the world, and if they're having some problem, fix them right there.
there you go.
And
They won't even know what's happening.
nothing. Okay. Um, so my second question is about if someone your friend, your a kid in your family, a cousin wants to be an acupuncturist, they're curious, but they want to know your advice. What would you advise them? Would you tell them to go ahead, or would you try to convince them to do something else?
You know, it's really funny. There's a book by a guy, Shudo Denmai. It's a Japanese acupuncture book. And it talks kind of about this very thing. And his answer is very similar to mine, where I would say yes, but I would want them to really consider it. It's not an easy path. For most acupuncturists, there is some serious growing pain that we talked about in a lot, and that we kind of talked about, lightly, but really it's been a very kind of roller coaster of a ride getting into this medicine. If you want something that you can work on that you're never going to be the best at, but you can always improve, it's amazing. Like every day I have something I could fix, I could do a little bit better, and that could either drive you crazy or that's fuel to just keep learning. And it just depends on where you fall on that spectrum.
Very good answer. And I want to ask you, the situation that we have in the United States, is it unique situation, acupuncture and struggles, or is it all across the board the same? Is there any part of the world where actually acupuncture providers are not finding all these resistances that you find in your profession?
Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know the current state of, like, for example, the financials of what it's like to be an acupuncturist in China.
Yeah.
If I mean, I know a lot of people that, like, a lot of doctors have graduated through the Chinese medical system, and when you do that, you kind of graduate as like a Western MD sort of, and an acupuncturist. So their training is a little bit different, and they a lot of times they're chief of certain floors of their hospitals and stuff. So I don't know how that pay changes, but I think the cost of tuition and stuff these days, uh, and the amount that most acupuncturists get paid, their median salary, it's challenging, right? I think that they definitely bring more to the table than they're reimbursed for example.
Yeah.
But if China paid like a really livable wage as an acupuncturist, then it would make it a whole different ballgame.
I'm thinking out loud that China economy is changing. Their middle class is growing the way America was about 30, 40 years ago. Wealth is growing in China, in Asian countries. Japan is already an advanced country per se of economy and every other aspect. And I think that it would be worth to explore that how expats who have the same degree as you, what kind of life they enjoy in those countries.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it's something I'm going to look into probably after this.
Yeah, because I can see that it is you're really good at it, and you have the right merger. Like, you can mix the scientific knowledge of allopathic doctors' language. You have a good hold on Oriental medicine, what the future looks like for people like in other countries. Because I think economy is changing and they have the different systems. So let's talk about the next thing, which is my favorite question. Uh, it's take me back there, right? So what is that place in the world that you would like to go back in a heartbeat?
Oh, Colombia. Specifically Medellin. I had such a good time. I was amazed. Like Colombia has a lot of like natural resources, like places to go hiking that like I didn't even begin to explore. So if I go back to Medellin as home base and then kind of move around Colombia, I would love that. Plus, I love the people. I love the food. There's a place
Interesting.
where,
I have never been there. So how many years ago was this trip?
ooh, think about six.
6. Interesting. And how long did you spend? How long was your trip?
2 weeks. I left for Colombia, and when I left for Colombia, I was a vegan, and when I came back, I was not.
Yeah, you're
Now I'm trying to kind of come to some harmony between both.
some harmony.
I do think
You
I'm
are there.
headed.
We both are at the same spot, my friend. We tried. We
Yeah,
tried.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
Okay,
It
wonderful.
happens.
I'm glad that you mentioned. I've never been there, but I would be curious to go now. Um, so this next question is called Once Upon a Time. Share a childhood memory with us that still brings smile on your face, that 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 just makes you like happy thinking about it.
I mean, I'm lucky. I had a really good childhood, but I think my favorite one is I used to have a little core group, right? It was my neighborhood, but we were all pretty good friends. So my friend Dan, my friend Anthony, my cousin Michael, and we used to. They probably can't arrest me now, so I suppose. But we used to go play paintball with a lot of like the neighborhood kids, and I mean, I'm modest, but in the case of paintball, we never lost, not
Yeah.
once. I can go back to any one of those games and reflect on how we dominated everybody, and
So
it
this was
kind of brings a
outdoors.
smile. Yeah, yeah, it was
They now hold like you could go with a team and play like as play camps kind of thing.
they do, and they have great places very locally. But this was nice because it was totally unregulated.
I have to be on your side then.
Yeah, I would
Whenever,
agree.
yeah. I have to ask you a couple more things about your how do you stay fit, and your also another passion is martial arts,
Hmm.
and your runs that you do, they're pretty vigorous runs. I think your maybe mud runs you do, or some other
Yeah,
like
yeah,
do
similar, like the Spartan.
similar Spartan races. So tell us a little bit about your love of martial arts and Spartan races, and what do you do with them?
I mean, I think just like everything else I've done, it's kind of unconventional. It goes a different path. I really like just movement, right? I feel like being a human, like part of the apex of being human is exploring the weird dexterity that humans have and kind of pushing my limits is something I enjoy. Like where I think a lot of people kind of avoid suffering. I kind of obviously don't find pleasure in it, but I enjoy it because I like seeing how far I can push myself and what I can do and how I can kind of hack this and hack that. So whether it's like the sparring race, which I think is cool, I think there's all like the mud runs are really cool. There are like crazy races like the death race that I've always kind of been curious about, where it's just brutalizing your body. Then I can use acupuncture to fix it and see how well it works. But with martial arts in particular, I think that gives you a lot of different ways to express things physically, right? So, and Bruce Lee was big on this. Just the actual movement itself is an expression. So it's like a way for me to be creative, but kinesthetic at the same time. And because I'm competitive and I don't like to really lose by that much, it does give me continuous drive to improve and to work out so that, okay, I might not be able to, take like a 24-year-old in his prime, but I go toe to toe with another 36-year-old, well, you know, I'm
You'll
okay. I'm
be,
okay winning that.
you can make them feel like that probably was not a good decision.
Well, at least I feel like it was a good decision for me.
Yeah, yeah. Now tell me a little bit about that. That brings us to a question about your school. You started a school, which is currently
Oh yeah, yeah.
in New Jersey, I think you started, right?
And
So
Mount
tell
Holly.
us a little bit about it.
Well, obviously we didn't start it at the best time.
Yeah, forecast.
Definitely thrown a wrench in things. So I started with a longtime friend and teacher of mine, TJ Miller. And I've trained with him basically in mixed martial arts since I was 16, 17. Off and on. When I was back in Philly, I would train with him and I would do stints. And then I would go off to Florida. And, if I was there, I was training different things like capoeira. And so he and I finally got together and just decided to start one. So it's the Ludus Academy of Martial Arts in Mount Holly. It's cool. It's very, very relaxed in terms of like martial arts academy, right? We're not so much in your face. It actually is quite fun. There's a lot of laughing in class, but we still kind of take the training seriously. But that was an interesting side venture, and as soon as everything calms down, I think it'll pick up more. So it's been an interesting experience.
I would love to have that link so that we can share with people. And if you guys have any created any online videos or material that people can see, that would be great too.
You are the
Because
first
I think
person that get me online.
yeah.
So,
Okay, good. I think we would love to see you teaching those classes online so that people can see what you do, because that's another very interesting thing.
You're giving me seriously like sweaty palms and like anxiety.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have full faith in you, my friend. I have to ask you a couple more questions. You have ever done anything that was like really funny, silly, that actually you're like, what happened there? Because I've done many in my life, and I've lost my IDs when I'm traveling, and had to be physically body checked, like by the airport people, because I had no ID and I was traveling out of state. Have you done anything crazy like this ever?
I've made a lot of bad decisions. Yeah. Tons. I'm trying to filter which ones I want to be able to provide to you. I definitely, again, with that same crew that I played paintball with, and this was a joint decision. I'm going to disperse the responsibility.
Yeah, good.
We wanted to go boogie boarding / surfing in a hurricane. So we drove down there. We quickly lost our keys, and then we tried to get back in the car. We couldn't get back in the car because we lost our keys in the ocean. So we had to call. Dan and I called our sisters, and they came and picked us up like 3 hours later in a pickup truck. It was a whole ordeal. The car itself got flooded because of the hurricane.
Because
this was on LDI, so not one of our brightest, experiences at all.
I'm glad you did that, because that's something that these are memories that we live for eventually when we get old.
I'll give you one more, actually.
Okay.
So that you can get to know the other side. So I'm deathly afraid of bears.
Okay.
Like to a point where it's not appropriate, but I feel like a healthy fear of bears is reasonable. And I went hiking with the same friends that I went to Colombia with, and the bear was probably 300 yards away. In no way was it a threat to any of us. I still thought it was appropriate to use the bear spray.
No, I mean...
And it was into the wind. So basically, I just maced all of us at the beginning of our hike. So we all ran back into the car. People were choking. Our eyes were burning. That stuff is potent. I don't even know if I'd use it on a bear.
I love this one even better.
Because that was all me. That was a bad idea.
I love this. I have to tell you, I was a couple of years ago, we went to Yellowstone Park, and I was carrying it. I just, they told us to scream our way around when we are in the woods, and that's what we did. So I never saw any, but I
Thank
could
God.
tell. Yeah, I would tell you that. Okay, now this is interesting. Now, you have a. Sometimes I've seen you talk a little bit about your family. So this last question is about you are a proud uncle of. And what makes you proud? What makes you when you are with them as like enjoy the joy of life?
I think I can be really proud because I can give them back.
Yeah.
And that's big. I have all I have to do is give a lot of love, and when it starts getting tough, I don't necessarily need to be around.
Yeah.
But no, it's really grown. I have two nephews, right, and one nephew is gigantic now. I just like literally he's like 6'5", 270 pounds, and he's got a good heart. And I've kind of seen him grow, and as he grows, like it makes me want to be a better person, so I can be a better example. And now I got a really little one, and now I get to see like, I'm older now, taking care of this younger nephew, and I can value it for a different level than I did with my first nephew because I was younger and more interested in other things at that time. So now just seeing how amazed like kids are by being able to turn a light on and off, like just the fact that the whole world is new to them, it's kind of nice because it makes the world new to you by proxy, which is kind of cool.
Wow, that's beautiful. I think that even I've not heard this from even parents realizing, because in the midst of all the struggles that you have to do as a parent, you forget the joys of parenting because
Yeah,
you
it's
don't.
like it's all the benefits and none of the
Yeah,
responsibility.
so you have got the best of both worlds.
I would
All right,
agree.
all right, my friend. I wish you the best of luck and look forward to a long life friendship and do something together that could make this world better.
I can't wait. I'm happy to see that neck moving better.
All
You have
right,
a good one.
thank you,
Thank
my
you for
friend.
everything.